Hi friends, welcome back to our YouTube series, What Can My Kids Read Right Now? This is part 3, Emerging Reader Stories, available on Hoopla as of May 2020. Even though we've discussed this a bit in previous videos, this is just a reminder that Hoopla and all of our other wonderful databases do require you to have a library card in order to access the materials. If you don't have a library card, that's okay. While the Caroline Kennedy Library and the John F. Kennedy Jr. Library are physically closed due to the coronavirus, our electronic resources are always available. If you don't have a library card, you can apply for one online and we'll be able to get you a temporary card that'll get you digital access to all of our databases, including Hoopla. If you live, work, or go to school in Dearborn Heights, all you have to do is submit an email at our dhreference@gmail.com email address with your name, address, and telephone number, and we'll be able to get you started with one of those temporary library cards that'll get you right into Hoopla. One final note before we start with our recommendations. These recommendations are for emerging readers, and we define emerging readers as readers that are still learning and practicing reading techniques. They may need more help with difficult words and concepts. If you're in the physical library, emerging readers are often reading our easy reader books or early chapter books. So if your reader is reading library books with those blue library tags on them, those are called easy readers. So these are for our emerging readers today. Our recommendations today are very loosely grouped by category, and our first category is nature and animals. Our first story is The Hike. 3 friends set out on a day hike to explore their local forest, intending to climb to the top of the hill where they will plant a flag, read a poem, and release feathers into the wind. My ocean is blue. This is my ocean, the young girl begins as she heads over the dunes with her mother. Then, as they pass the whole day at the seaside, she lyrically describes her ocean in simple, sensory detail. Otter, what pet is best? This is a My First I Can Read book, which means it's perfect for shared reading with a child. It's a fun exploration about selecting a pet. Plant a kiss. A little girl plants a kiss and watches it grow, with sparkling results and glitter throughout the book. Fly, Firefly. This lyrical story, written in verse, perfectly illustrates the wonder and delight the natural world offers for those who pay close enough attention. Our last selection in this category is Hound Won't Go. Out for a walk on a cloudy day, Hound suddenly decides that he's gone far enough, right in the middle of a busy intersection. Our next category of recommendations is sibling love. There's the Frozen 2 collection. Anna and Elsa and all of our favorite Frozen characters are part of this story of a collection of easy to understand stories. Little Bro, Big Sis. Funny illustrations depict a sister and brother who are bothered by one another until they realize that 2 siblings might be okay after all. Our final selection in this category is the Charlie and Mouse series. 2 brothers find fun and learn things, causing minor trouble along the way. Many of our Storytime friends will recognize Charlie and Mouse books, as these are an absolute favorite of Mr. Jim's. The 2 boys working on trying to stay up a little bit late and have a bedtime snack is a guaranteed laugh, in our opinion. Our next category of stories deal with mindfulness and emotions. Our first book, Worries Are Not Forever. Everyone feels worried at times, and young children are no exception. Friendly and reassuring, this book is geared towards preschool and primary school age children, and it explains what worries are and how it feels to be worried. This is part of a larger series of books that we use at my house quite a bit. Some of my other favorites are Calm Down Time and Teeth Are Not for Biting. Mindful Day. When we slow down and pay close attention, we learn what it means to be mindful. And when we experience our day with that kind of special attention, the world becomes wonderful and magical. What John Marco Saw. Best-selling author Annie Barrows has a singular talent for creating stories that speak directly to young readers. Here, in her first picture book, she celebrates the importance of slowing down as she reminds us that sometimes the smallest people have the biggest things to say. Our last story, Violet Shrink. The star of this story has trouble enjoying loud, crowded places. Her dad works with her to make a coping plan. Making new friends. Little Penguin's new friend. A polar bear is visiting Little Penguin, but he's heard they're scary and they love bad jokes. Can it be true? Find out in this story for brand new readers. Mabel. A silly read-aloud tale for kids about being yourself. Mabel isn't like the other mermaids. Lucky isn't like the other octopuses. But when they find each other, they discover that true friendship isn't about how you look. Exploring the possibilities. Like the moon loves the sky. Illustrations and prose inspired by the Quran celebrate a mother's love and hopes for her child. Sky is the limit. The only thing needed to begin this marvelous adventure? You! From far-reaching endeavor to the quieter milestones that have magic all of their own, this book celebrates life's most meaningful moments and encourages readers to reach for a sky's worth of possibilities. What will these hands make? This lyrical picture book from beloved creator Nikki McClure follows a family through one day and muses in the possibilities that one day holds. Lizzie's red socks. Anything is possible, even on the most ordinary of days, with a little imagination and the right socks. These stories didn't quite fit in a category of their own, so we're calling it even more fun. Space mice. When two hungry mice spot a giant yellow ball of cheese in the night sky, they get right to work building a rocket ship so they can take a big bite out of that glowing full moon. Ballet ball. Nini loves everything about ballet. The sparkles, the costumes, the twirling. But in the spring, there's only baseball practice. Baseball is nothing like ballet. Or is it? Pete the Cat's family road trip. We all know Pete the Cat from his wonderful adventures. This Pete the Cat story features a zany road trip in a crowded minivan. A potato on a bike. This is a delightful board book that'll make the little ones in your life laugh. It is pretty much right what it says in the title. It's all about a potato on a bike. Our final recommendations for emerging readers today are for our emerging readers that are looking to jump into chapter books. They are Roosevelt Banks, good kid in training. Roosevelt's parents agree to buy him a bike if he can manage to be good for 2 whole weeks. How can Roosevelt be good and be the same fun guy his friends want? Trouble at Table 5. This is a series from the author of Stick Dog. It's highly illustrated early chapter books about 3 best friends whose plans, missions, and schemes are sure to shake up their school. Cats vs. Robots. This is also part of a series. Margaret Stoll and Lewis Peterson's hilarious middle grade debut has it all. Robot overlords, secret feline agents, and earthling humans who are in for a real cat-tastrophe. Can make this promise. In her debut middle grade novel inspired by her family's history, Christine Day tells the story of a girl who uncovers her family's secrets and finds her own Native American identity. The Danny series. Rose Lagerkrantz creates sweet, funny illustrated chapter books about a young girl with a lot of optimism, even if sometimes life makes it hard to be happy. That concludes our emerging reader recommendations for this month. Next in our series, What Can My Kids Read Right Now? We have stories for experienced readers with chapter books. Some of our coming attractions include Cog, Dear Sweet Pea, and Flora in Ulysses. As always, you can stay connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. We miss you. Stay safe.